Big D Entertainment, in association with Dipsy Doodle Productions, presents The Dave Holly Hour. Brought to you by Trio Jazz Club, Sioux Falls' premier jazz club. Enter as friends, leave as family. Phil's Pub. Phil's, your local dive with music for the people. Chasers Food and Spirits. Excel Chiropractic, and Quality Nails. The Dave Holly Hour features Sioux Empire Arts and Entertainment Conversations. A true lover of arts, entertainment, good food, and fun times, including an occasional Jack Daniels. Okay, so a few Jack Daniels. Here he is, Dave Holly.
Hello, arts and entertainment enthusiasts. This episode, another bonus. Just like last week, 3 conversations taking us well past an hour. Might need to rename the show. Not going to happen too much invested in branding. But wow, are we in a great run in the midst of an amazing calendar of shows to take in and other arts to take in. Trust me, as the one that makes the schedule, it's a good spot to be in. Coming up in a few minutes, we hear from Dan Heier of the Fellowship Jazz Center Orchestra. Plenty going on with FJC. They are a great organization. Then the artistic director of South Dakota Shakespeare Festival, Rebecca Bailey, tells us about that organization's mission. And then we cap off the show with local author Emersyn Park. Her latest novel is being released next week. But first...
Honey, look at this!
Unbelievable!
Yeah! Yummy!
I know!
That'd be fantastic. You know what I'm talking about.
Dave's Fave! Each week, we salute a person or business I feel is worthy of a shout-out for any number of reasons. They do receive a small thank you gift. This week's Dave's Fave is mixologist Will Anderson at Trio Jazz Club. You're saying, oh yeah, well, Trio. Yeah, you're right. They are a main sponsor. And Will has also been on the show to give us the perspective of somebody that sees jazz going on every night. He's also on the mark with amazing hospitality. Last week, my love and I were going to Diva Night at Trio. We already had dear friends that would be sitting near us, and another friend who was going to sit on the other side of the bar, but wanted to be seated next to us. So I called Will to ask if the friend at the end of the bar could possibly sit next to us. No problem, he says. A few minutes pass, and I get a text asking whose name the reservation is under. I tell him, well, it's me. He says that we don't have reservations for that night. And I thought I'd made him like a week plus in advance. And I also was thinking, oh man, our friend's going to be enjoying an evening without us. Not much later, though, he says he can put 3 of us at a table and the other 2 can be seated where they were. Whew. I text him that he's not only worth his weight in gold, but mine as well. His response, Dave Holly, I would move mountains to get you in for a show. Thankfully, all I had to move was a table. Great hospitality, Will. Thank you. So besides the weekly Dave's Fave, learn things like my favorite films, quotes, advice, etc. by going to the Dave's Faves page on the show website, davehollyhour.com. And after you look at that page, click on the trivia page to see our schedule at Chasers, West 12th and Ellis Road. Stop in for great food, great beverages, and fun times. Monday nights at 7, we play Dave Holly Hour Trivia. This coming Monday, March 16th, the theme is the Ides of Patrick. Mondays are always fun at Chasers, your neighborhood gathering place. Honorable mention. What made Dave laugh, chuckle, chortle, downright slap my knee silly, or simply fill my heart with happiness? As per usual, we had a great time last week at Improv Falls. While I could give individual accolades, their success is built on being a team that is able to combine collective efforts out of each member's on-the-spot ideas, all based off of audience suggestions. It's always a pleasure to see good improv comedy. Later in the show, Emersyn Park, after Rebecca Bailey, and up next, Dan Heier on the Dave Holly Hour. Another great week of live music at Trio Jazz Club. Tonight, the official director of cannoli sales returns. Dan Heier leads his quartet in a special night honoring legendary jazz drummer Roy Haynes, celebrating what would have been his 101st birthday. Victor's energetic saxophone sound takes over the stage for 2 shows Friday, 6:30 and 9. Get ready for a night that'll have you moving in your seat. Saturday, guitarist Tetsuya brings his refined sound to trio. Originally from Japan, now performing across the Midwest, he's recently been featured on organist Mitch Towns' album Refuge. Enjoy classic jazz on the house, Baby Grand, with the legendary Steve Smith on Tuesday, and on Wednesday, a midweek night of live music with Mark Stewart to keep the groove going. Come grab a seat and enjoy the music. Get your tickets at triojazzclub.com.
It's a fresh new look for DaveHolleyHour.com. Besides catching up on episodes, find Sioux Empire Arts and Entertainment websites. See what Dave likes on the Dave's Faves page. Get more information about our wonderful sponsors. Check out the news and notes section to find out what past guests are up to, and sign up for our newsletter. It's all at your searching and surfing fingertips. DaveHolleyHour.com.
He's jazzed to the eyeballs. Once again, here's Dave Hawley. Crikey, mate.
Welcome back, everyone. Yes, you know it is always a pleasure to talk Sioux Empire Arts and Entertainment, and that's why you're tuned in as well. Although I don't know, do you use tuned in for a podcast? That's why you've clicked in or clicked on a link or something else along that line in this modern day age. But you know what's great about this modern day age? We don't forget about classics. We don't forget about what made America America. And we don't forget how something started off as an American standard. And you can play it however you want now. It's a little word called jazz. And most of you are well aware that I am a huge fan of jazz, and that's why I have been supporting, ever since they started, the wonderful little Jazz Fellowship Center. Fellowship Jazz Center. I get mixed up sometimes, Dan Heier.
Me too. That's
occasionally I'm going to call you Heier Dan, but then you are for Heier.
Badach. There we go.
You got into your rim shot. Yeah, I don't even have to add it with the sound effects then if you did it. And that's one of the better, because most people kind of go, but let's hear yours again.
Badach.
So you got the
You got to get
that's
the
what did it.
little splash symbol.
Yeah, all right.
Oh.
And you guys have a lot going on for still a relatively new group. 2-year anniversary now?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's coming up.
Yep, that'll be in April.
And another big thing that we're going to talk about for the end of April.
Absolutely.
Oh, my goodness gracious. We'll leave people in a little suspense mode right now. But already you guys have been busy. You've been doing the Wednesday jams for quite some time at Trio. And that involves a lot of the youth, because anybody that wants to play and come jam with the Trio. Are you officially the Trio band now for certain things?
No, I don't. I mean, I don't think so. But we do have a consistent house band, you know. So no,
house band, I guess is what.
Yeah, I mean, at least for the jazz jam,
right.
You know, there's a few of them. Like obviously, Ruben's got the trio, or you know, with the comedy night, you know that. So that's like another kind of house gig that happens there.
So it's always a pleasure to get out and be a part of the jazz scene. In fact, I was just on a long telephone call and for setting up a voiceover demo, a professional voiceover demo, and we're looking at sometime in late June in Omaha. The gal says, well, is that close enough for you? I said, that's 2.5 hours, whoosh, just down like that.
Yeah, quick
And
drive.
there's usually some jazz going on there, too.
Absolutely.
But we don't have to worry about always going to Omaha for jazz anymore, because there are so many things playing at Trio. And one of the really great things is when we get to see the Fellowship Jazz Center Mini Orchestra. 9 people on that small stage, but you make it work, and it sounds amazing. But see, you've had this Wednesday jam, first Wednesday of the month going on for quite some time. A lot of youth come out and play, and it's fantastic to see there. It's actually kind of getting tough to find a seat.
It is, yeah.
If you're not a parent or a grandparent, because they usually gobble those up pretty quickly.
They do.
If you do get a chance to go to it, you will be amazed. And the other great thing is, typically, you're going to have a high school jazz band that's opening for when can we just say FJC?
FJCO?
FJCO,
Yeah,
when they're having
orchestra,
it, when they're having an orchestra concert and so forth, and it will blow you away. It's just amazing to see that. But now, guess what we're doing? And I'm going to say we, because I feel I'm part of this and so forth.
You are part of it.
Well,
Absolutely.
thank you. And it is so fun to see kids, and I do mean kids, on the floor at Trio, and they're learning about jazz. And Allison Mickelson has become a part of that because she's the one that actually teaches it to the kids. And I was lucky enough to be at the last one that you had at Trio, and I loved it. And so here it is. It's kind of funny because somebody asked me, when I posted and had a picture about it on Facebook, and I think they were trying to be smart and go, "Oh, did you learn something?" And I said, "Yes, I did." First of all, I learned a bit more about the history of jazz and how things came about and how we get the different styles and so forth. And then I also learned that kids love jazz too.
Yes, they do.
Oh, and it was so fun seeing that and the way that Allison presented it. And she's got a little clout in that department, being a teacher.
Oh, she's amazing working with kids and just engaging them.
Yeah, and so that was fun, and it was just, and she even had control of them too, because I thought when I saw the drumsticks come out, I said, "Oh no, this is going to be hell."
It could go one way, and it didn't.
Nope. She kept them all in line the whole time. And so that was great. How did that part of it come around?
This was something that I believe Allison, she developed this program. This was like kind of her idea.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not kind of, it was. And I think it was mostly kind of like her and Jim Spears. And so, and Jim's on the board as well. And so, so we had a meeting and we talked about it. I was like, I love this. Because as an organization, so Jazz for Young People, if you don't know, is for kids, it's advertised ages 3 to 9. I mean, it's not like a hard 9, like kids are 10 or 12 or whatever. They want to come. That's absolutely great, and just that's a demographic that we haven't hit yet either. And but like, so it's a 45-minute show.
Yeah.
Because anything longer than that would probably be a bit too long.
Attention is.
Yep. And I think it's just like exposing them to this music at a young age, and showing that like anyone can do it. Mm-hmm. Oftentimes I feel like jazz can be like a club, right? It's not always welcoming, and our name is Fellowship Jazz Center, and so we want to be welcoming. We want to expose it to all ages, and just show that it is. As I always say, this Jackie McLean says, jazz is a happy music. So we want to share this happiness with everyone, honestly. But like with this show, ages 3 to 9, it was a 3-part series. It was kind of like we introduced a jazz band. That was part 1. Part 2 was in talking about the rhythms of jazz and kind of the blending of different cultures, and where we got certain rhythmic things that happen in jazz. And part 3 is about improvisation, the language of it. And so it's just kind of giving them these little tidbits,
right?
And presenting it in a way, and sometimes it's a show and tell with the instruments, and finding ways to get kids involved. The first one, there was a lot of call and response, so we did that old spiritual Down by the Riverside,
right?
And they're all singing, and the parents are singing, and it was so much fun. And then this last time, as you saw, talking about the rhythms of jazz, and I got to teach them the swing pattern.
Yeah,
walking the dog,
Yeah.
walk the dog, walk the dog. And then all of a sudden, here you go. You got these kids that have never, probably, maybe not even listened to jazz before, playing a rhythm, right?
Yeah.
That's so integral to that music. And then now we can kind of talk about, for the next one at the end of March, improvisation. And really just how everyone improvs all the time through conversation every single day. And it's really no different
Right.
with an instrument.
Well, I actually used to do improv comedy.
Yeah.
And one of the people that I learned the most from referred to it as, just remember when you were a kid, you were playing in a sandbox. And I've always loved that analogy that, here's what you can do. Just act, react, have fun,
Absolutely.
and it'll all come together.
Yes.
And then one of the things I've heard Ricardo say before at Trio when introducing a band and so forth, he'll make a little mistake. Oh, he says, but it's jazz. There are no wrong notes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's being in the moment, right? And sometimes letting, at least for me personally, it's letting go of expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Where you think things should go, and
True.
and just being in the moment. Because I don't know how Brian Hannigan's going to speak today on his saxophone, right? But I'm interested in how he's going to speak. Or whoever's soloing, and then having that dialogue with them through music. And so, it was, so you mentioned like happiness and all that. And I can say this, both shows have been just so like heartwarming. It's amazing being in a club or any room, for that matter, and just the pure joy that radiates from kids. I mean, I don't think there's anything happier on earth, when you have a room filled with kids, just experiencing joy and just, dancing to the music, tapping along to the music or singing along. And then of course their parents are there as well. And then that makes them happy. And all of a sudden just the mood just elevates, everyone just walks away feeling so great. And to me, that was the personal joy that I've gotten out of both shows, and it's second to none.
And of course, those parents are now like, maybe instead of a video game for Christmas, they'd like, an instrument.
Yeah, hopefully just getting them interested and seeing Jimmy Spears make a horse sound on a trumpet, going, oh, I never, and all that stuff, watching Jeremy play barrel house blues style, watching Andrew play the bass and making all those cool sounds, and Allison singing, as well.
Yeah. I'm thinking back to my first year of college, first semester even, had a course, Culture and Communication. And so they covered the arts, they covered visual arts, they covered performing arts, etc., and even architecture and things along that line. And so you had to form in groups of 4, and you had to come up with a song that you would present then at the next class. So it was, 48 hours you had that. And I think they gathered in my dorm room, and, somebody had some bongos and somebody else had some sticks, and we did have a trumpet in there. And so we played just something kind of, I called it back alley blues.
Yeah.
And, it wasn't very good. But then we played it, and then the professor said, so, is there a title to this? I said, yeah, Back Alley Blues. And suddenly he goes, it is.
Yeah.
And he says, isn't it interesting how a title can transform the idea of what you're thinking that music is?
Absolutely.
And so that's one of the things I always keep in mind is, okay, Yeah, and you can hear some covers now of old hit songs being done for jazz.
Absolutely.
And it's so refreshing to see that it's not just we're playing, anything from Dave Clark and so forth, or anybody along those lines, Brubeck, whatever. But it's like Count Basie has stayed with us the whole time.
And I think all of them would stay with us, and be current as well.
Yeah.
And if you even look at, as an example, Basie's catalog, right?
Phenomenal.
I mean, I picked up this album. It was all Disney songs. He recorded 2 Beatles albums doing only Beatles songs. And
oh, wow.
And if you look, got Buddy Rich Big Band did that all the time. And so many big bands, like, they would find their own takes on that. Stan Kenton, thinking like he did Live and Let Die.
Oh.
Probably shortly after it came out.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that's natural. It's
right.
Like being current with what's up.
Yeah. And it's still, some people say, oh, it's just a cover song. No. A cover song is if you've got a band that's trying to play it exactly like the band that recorded it. That never happens in jazz. It's not even close.
No.
You recognize the song, but everybody's got their own little nuances. And as we've talked several times, maybe you're playing 2 gigs in a row. You play it great one time. Next show, equally as great or maybe greater.
Yeah, it changes from night to night.
Yeah.
And, that's kind of, I think, you can play the same arrangement, but the improv's going to be different. A lot of times I say, like, it might be an intent, right? Like how a person feels. If they come, like, if you're improvising, okay, I always relate it to, let's say you walk in to work, class, whatever it is you go to, a very common phrase is say, good morning, and one day it might be like, hey, good morning.
Right.
The next morning it might be, good morning.
Yeah. Or even just morning.
Yeah. And
no good at all.
Yeah, exactly. And just by changing inflection and tones and personality and how you feel that day. I mean, I think that's what I love about the jazz is the improv aspect is like you play how you feel that day.
Exactly. Oh my. Yeah, and that's such a great part of the genre itself. If you even want to, it's more of a super genre now with all the different things you'll hear in
so
it.
many. I mean, I think all the genres are like that.
Oh,
there's so many millions of umbrellas and people might have conceptions of what is jazz or what isn't jazz. And I'm like,
well, and it's not just instrumental because coming up on April 30th, which happens to be International Jazz Day, we celebrated it with a live concert last year, and we're going to do so again.
Yes, we are.
And you got a big name that's going to be a part of this. Andrea Ross is going to be singing along.
Yes, she will. I was really excited that she was available for this. I played some gigs with her over the years, off and on. And so I just asked her, do you like singing big band music? And she said, yeah. And she has a book. And I was like, are you available these days? And she is. And so it's great having her in town. And, she's a wonderful vocalist, incredibly wonderful career she's had. And we're going to be doing some really cool songs. And,
I love it.
The other thing that I love about it is Jeremy Hague arranged some of the big band charts.
That's right.
And like a big part of the fellowship is obviously supporting local and regional artists. And now to have a local arranger, involved in these were charts he did. It wasn't done for this show. It was 4 other shows that she has done. But to have that, component involved too, I think it just really shows like how much great talent we have right here in Sioux Falls and in that, I don't know, hour and a half radius, 2 hour radius.
In the Sioux Empire.
Yeah, in Sioux Empire, yep.
And I think people forget that. they kind of take things for granted sometime.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, these people are. And then it's like, okay, but don't just go, these people from the area. Listen to it, watch it, whatever you are taking part in the arts, and understand, wow, the thousands of hours of practice it's taken for people to get to this point. And then you really want to understand arts. You really want to learn more. Take an art class, take a music class, take a vocal class, anything along that line, and you will learn to appreciate what you see and hear. My love and I lately have been taking some art classes.
Yeah.
And we've done acrylic a few times, but she's really gotten into watercolor, and she's doing great. And it's such a relief for her. That's a great little sideline thing that she just, I'm going to be quiet for a couple hours here while I do this. And she's been amazing at it. My forte is I love colored pencils.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing to doodle with. But you get to understand more of the nuances.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, how do you make this kind of bleed into another? How do you blend with watercolors? And she's doing great. But we still keep going on every time we see a class like that.
Yeah.
And we might learn something else.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll go, woo, this is really cool.
Yeah.
Or, one of the things, a friend of mine that made a purple and an orange cup. In fact, I think they're over on that bookshelf.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that's just so cool. And that's, she does, besides that, she does, things on canvas with alcohol paint. Alcohol ink and so forth. So she gets it, and then she can tilt the canvas different ways and so forth. And so it's just fun to learn about it. Well, that's what's great about, the Fellowship Jazz Center is that you can go watch this, listen to it, start to understand what makes it great. And don't forget to applaud. Oh, and by the way, jazz is something you can applaud in during the song.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In fact, it makes us feel really good.
Exactly.
It becomes a communication, between the audience.
So it's wonderful to be able to do that. And, of course, a big applause at the end never hurts either. And then at the end of the show, standing O. There you go.
That's right.
So that's coming up, and we'll be celebrating the International Jazz Day.
Correct. Yeah.
I was almost getting ready to say center again. So International Jazz Day on April 30th. And people can go ahead and get tickets already, correct, for that show that you'll be doing with the orchestra and with Andrea?
Yep. It will be at the Orpheum Theater, downtown Sioux Falls, and you can find the tickets at the Orpheum Theater's website. And, it's going to be really exciting. So, yes, we're celebrating International Jazz Day, which is the culmination of Jazz Appreciation Month. Acronym is JAM there.
Yeah.
Okay? Which starts with the Jazz Jam on April 1st. So no fooling you there. And then we have a couple other things in the work. We're going to have a jazz crawl again.
Good.
And so I'll be the Saturday before, that's the 25th, I believe. And I'll be downtown Sioux Falls. So be looking for that. And then obviously International Jazz Day with the orchestra, celebrating 2 years of Fellowship Jazz Center, open to the public, but also 1 year anniversary of the Fellowship Jazz Center Orchestra. And so I'm just super excited. And there's a lot of cool things that we're celebrating that day. And, it was always in our plans to have the orchestra. I don't think it was ever in our plans to have it this early on in our organization, but it's been really warmly received by the community.
Yeah.
And we've had, it's been really cool, and it makes the band feel really good how much the community loves it. And as you mentioned before, we've had high school bands opening up, and that has just been super, super cool. Last year, the concert was on a Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm.
There's no school activities on Wednesday night. So now this year,
right.
we got it's on a Thursday
night.
And so I believe we're about 99% confirmed with an opening act. It's not a high school group, college group.
Oh, that's
Just opening up. But it's going to be fun, and it's going to be exciting. I asked numerous high school bands, and it was like, well, half our jazz band is in show choir,
right.
or this choir, or they
by
got a
that
school
time,
band
you're getting
concert.
track in there as well, and
Yep,
golf.
and so it's a very busy time of
Yeah.
year, for a lot of high schools, and a lot of these kids are in jazz band. They're very talented, right? So they're in so many different activities, and generally all of them are related to music, and it's kind of that concert season. But
Well, and the other thing is, no matter what sport you're involved with, you probably have some sort of jam that you like to hear before you go out and perform.
Yep.
In that regard, and whatever you're doing on stage, I have a lot of actors on here and other performers, and quite often there's music that they're listening to before they get really psyched up to go on stage.
yeah,
And I think I probably have the most eclectic collection that I listen to. But it's always such a great moment in time when you're at a live performance. And also, it's just a great history for you as well. Oh, I remember hearing this song when, and it takes you back to that moment.
yeah,
And-
absolutely.
And it's so great that music can do that. I think more so than anything else in terms of setting it down and going, hey, this is a good way to live your life. Music is a good thing. And it's even better when it's jazz.
That's right. Last night I went and saw the Northlanders jazz band play.
Oh, man.
With Aubrey Logan was the guest artist, and so you were talking about like kind of new standards, right? Like tunes throughout earlier and kind of like, and she rearranged couple Carole King tunes.
Oh, wow.
And Fleetwood Mac tunes. It's just to her, they were just because
Right.
we have jazz standards and people like Nat King Cole, Cole Porter, all those types of folks. And she's like, these are also standards, just a
Right.
different type of standard, but one again is just going to a concert and just sitting and just taking in music, and it's relaxing, it's joyful, and oftentimes I'm playing, so just to finally sit in the audience and enjoy is just, it's so much fun. It's one of my favorite things to do as well. Yeah.
It's interesting, what do you consider an old and a classic anymore? Because I remember being, when I was in grade school and then into high school, so mid-70s to early 80s, and there was a lot of great music being put out at that time.
Oh, so much great
Yeah.
music.
But back then, the 50s and the 60s were considered the oldies.
Yeah.
And it's like, that was only 15 to 20 year difference.
Yeah. Yep.
And, now, yes, they're still oldies. But now, you think of 15 to 20 year difference. That was the year 2000.
It is,
You're,
yeah.
somewhere in that category that you're going to be thinking about and going, oh, yeah, that was a classic song, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And so it's interesting that, things along that line, here we come from, oldies being 50s and 60s to now, quote unquote, for this generation that's in high school and grade school, probably referring to that as an oldie.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was teaching, so I finally updated iPads, Dave Holly, and my last iPad, and I still hasn't, it still works. It's a second generation.
Oh, my.
2010, and I'm up, and then all of a sudden, like, I'm teaching, and I'm like, oh my gosh, my iPad is older than almost every one of my students. And I'm teaching some songs, and I remember, like, when I was a kid, early 2000s, when I was working, I grew up on a farm in northeast South Dakota, and so I'd be out in the field cutting hay and all that stuff. And so
Walking
I
boots.
remember hearing Santana's version of The Game of Love about 6 times a day.
Yeah.
You know, it's because just you're working in the field long enough,
Yep.
it keeps repeating itself, the tunes at the time. And I was teaching that one the other day because it's got a cool groove, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this song is, it's 20-some years old now.
Yeah. Amazing. And but it's also great that we have songs that seem to be timeless.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yep.
you know, some of them obviously are a bit novelty, you know, like YMCA, Fishing in the Dark, things along that line.
Yep.
But there's still songs that come out and it's like, okay, you're still going to be wanting to listen to this in 30 years or more.
Absolutely.
And, you know, again, that takes you back to then that point where you heard it the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a historical marker for us.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what time will everything get going then on April 30th?
April 30th, the event will start at 7:30. I believe doors are at 7.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's going to be a great time, and I'm excited. I'm sure I'll be able to announce very soon who the opening act will be,
Right.
and we're just super excited to have the band back together,
Yeah.
and to have Andrea joining us and singing. This will be our first time with a
With a
vocalist,
vocalist, yeah.
with the orchestra, and that is huge. That's such an important part of big band history, and
Right.
And so I'm glad that we're able to feature her on this concert.
All right. And you still have December 15th of 2027 written in the books, right?
Yes.
It's a Wednesday, yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay, good. Oh, all right. What question are we going to come up with you?
Uh-oh.
You have been on several times.
Mm-hmm.
You, in fact, you know, you're getting the usual Chotsky and so forth. You're getting one of the,
It's my favorite stuff every
yeah.
time.
you are getting the sticker that says one of Dave's faves. And thank you for bringing coffee from the breaks. You know I love it.
Hot cup higher, right?
Exactly. And then I'm sure that the breaks will become a Dave's fave. They actually already are. They just don't know it. But I'll give them some Chotsky for that.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, we'll trade mugs maybe or something.
Yeah, that'd be great. Heck yeah.
Or maybe I can sell mine down there.
Don't know until you ask, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it never hurts. Never hurts to ask. You can even throw it out there like, you know, hey, this may be a stupid idea, but I always think sometimes they take it more seriously if you say that.
Yeah.
Then they kind of go, is it? Or would this be a good idea?
It might take the expectation out of it, right?
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. That's a way to, kind of buffer it and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, have I asked you this? Yeah. I've asked you spirit animal.
Yep, that was
Yep.
the last one.
Have I asked you the autobiography title?
No.
Oh, well, then we go with that. What will be the title of Dan Heier's autobiography?
Cannoli and drums. There we go.
Awesome.
Tales from the director of cannoli sales at Trio
Yes,
Jazz.
exactly. Oh, my friend, we'll toast. We'll toast
Toast.
for
Heck
the
yeah.
breaks and to you and for the Fellowship Jazz Center, the Fellowship Jazz Center Orchestra, the mini orchestra, and all the things you guys are doing. Appreciate it greatly.
Hey, thank you, and thank you for everything you do for the arts.
Well, I appreciate that, young man. All right, we'll be back with more of the Dave Holly Hour in just a moment. Trio Jazz Club is an intimate music venue in the heart of Sioux Falls. It's family-owned and family-run. Ricardo and Mary Beth and the entire staff provide the art of hospitality, while the best local and regional musicians provide the smooth sounds. It's a great vibe with live music Tuesday through Saturday nights. The chefs and mixologists offer an amazing menu and beer and wine lists. Cocktails as smooth as the jazz. Join the club, Trio Jazz Club, across from the Washington Pavilion. Enter as friends, leave as family. Dr. Perry Langston and Dr. Corey Tooney know excellence is in you. That's why they provide you with excellent care at XO Chiropractic, improving your overall health in spirit, body, mind, and will. Get results the natural way. Arrange a consultation, 605-332-9235 or exokairos.com. Excellent care for excellent people. XO Chiropractic, located at 4309 South Racket Drive in Sioux Falls.
Phil's Pub, your local dive bar. Now, some people call them a fine Italian restaurant. Who are we kidding? This is Phil's Pub. They do have pizza, though, and you're always welcome to bring your own food or order in. Grab a seat, stay a while. You'll find live music, karaoke, sports on the TVs, and a laid-back crowd. Feels like regulars, even on your first visit. And with a high rating, clearly people like hanging out there. Starting tonight, they kick off the Trap the Queen of Spades raffle, raising money for cats at the Sioux Empire DNR Coalition. Then Friday at 7:30, live music from Matt D. And coming up Thursday, March 26th, don't miss Dig Deep, live at Phil's. No frills, no fuss, just a good place to be. See more information at the Phil's Facebook page.
The Dave Holly Hour, like eavesdropping on a great conversation between two very interesting people.
Welcome back, everybody. Oh, you know, I love to talk Sioux Empire arts and entertainment. You also know by now that I really enjoy meeting someone new in A&E and then getting to know them and letting them have an opportunity to talk about their organization or their art or their music, whatever it is. Well, we've got a new visitor to the show this time. I would say in the Dipsy Doodle production studio, but nope, just a couple of blocks away over here at Caribou.
Can't argue with a good cup of coffee.
Exactly, yeah, good cup. Rebecca Bailey, you are the artistic director for South Dakota Shakespeare Festival. How's that? What got you into this, first of all?
It's an honor, actually, to be in that position. I started working with the company when it was just in its infancy. There were 3 founders of our company. So someone in the business department at USD, the theater department, and 2 from the theater, 1 in production side and 1 in performance. They worked together and they created this company. 2011, our first production came out in 2012, and it has continued to grow. So I have served in numerous roles, from being a student board to the board to directing for the show. And then I found myself here. But all 3 of them have been mentors to me at different points in time and in different ways. And we stand on the shoulders of those who clear the path. And this is an incredible company. Yeah, and it's phenomenal. We were talking beforehand, all the different things going on, all of the things you're looking to have in the future, big projects and so forth. And so let's talk a little bit about what you do at this point, because I know one of the big things that you focus on is juvenile detention centers. It is. So the company's mission has to do with the shared human experience, looking at theater partially as education and as professional. And so part of that shared human experience is how we look at it from every different angle and at different perspectives. So in 2015, we took our first performance on a high school tour, but we also went to the Juvenile Detention Center. And that programming has grown from coming in just to do a set of scenes, not Yo Mama's Shakespeare, if I can add, but to doing some classes, to doing 1 class. And this year we have been recognized nationally with our 6-week Staging a Difference with Shakespeare program. We will be in the Juvenile Detention Center for 6 weeks, 2 to 3 times a week for multiple hours. And the entire show at the end of that will perform at the Juvenile Detention Center. But the highlight, last year, we brought Act 1 of Romeo and Juliet, and they let us even bring the swords in. And those students watched a sword fight with Romeo, this young man in tights, and you would have thought he was the coolest human in the world as he was sword fighting and made his attempt to get the first kiss from Juliet, and those students were cheering. but it's part of how we relate to each other.
Connectivity.
We want to
Yeah.
belong.
So when you go there, what is the response? It sounds like it's positive, obviously, from the kids that are in it. What do those that are in charge of the juvenile detention centers say?
We have listened as they describe to us watching students who typically sit back and don't engage in material. Part of what's really special about moving to this 6-week programming and the funding to be able to do that is the time. You can't walk in with students who don't have a lot of trust. We are very intentional about performers. These are all professional actors, but that reflect the students that we serve, that are ready to listen and can come in, and Shakespeare becomes the vehicle. So we talk to the leaders, and they talk about how they watch students who sit back and don't start out wanting to engage. And as we went for 4 weeks even last year, watching the change as the students talked, as we helped them understand and find ways to channel these great big emotions that maybe they don't even have words, but as we're feeding them Shakespeare lines and they're finding it in their body, that they start talking with us. And we start talking about, how do we make different decisions? Did you know how long Romeo and Juliet last? 6 months, a year before they go from meeting each other
Right.
to the end of that play. 3 days. And those students are blown away. And then I say, but haven't you ever gotten onto that train and you just can't stop the train in its tracks? Do you know what that feels like? And those students know.
What have you gotten out of this personally to be in charge?
Less sleep. All joking aside, I am honored to be in the room with communities here who care, with artists that I help facilitate a space that is human first, that says we will treat artists as professionals,
Right.
and that if we can't be in a space where we can take the risk, where we can be human, then how can we make art that is meaningful? And then how do we translate that to audiences or to students who maybe haven't been in spaces like that before?
So you hire professionals to work on this, and they actually, besides the festival that you put on, they then will also be part of these classes and so forth, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And how many do you hire every year?
Typically, a company, the artist performing, ranges from 10 to 12. This year is a little smaller, which had its own different reasons, but usually 10 to 12 performers. But we employ closer to 25 to 30 artists in other ways.
Well, and I know you were saying beforehand that you have many applicants for this.
We had almost 400, which is double what it was just 2 years ago, which is the reputation that this city, this state, this company is gaining on a national level. We also, though, hire professional artists locally, and we hire apprentice tracks often that are students in college or local that are looking to bridge that next step.
Mm-hmm.
So getting them in the room with people from all over the country who are working artists.
I always remember there was a lady that started Dakota Academy of Performing Arts here in town, Sarah Crosby. Became great friends with her, and it was the first interview that she ever did on the radio stations here in town 25 plus years ago, maybe. And during a break, she said, Dave, the kids in Sioux Falls are just as talented as any kid in Los Angeles, Chicago, or New York. They just haven't had the opportunities. And I love when I see that. We were talking beforehand that, one of the places that you've kind of fostered all of this in Chicago, and our friend Jesse Jensen, first of all, is here. But Jesse brought up the fact that Tristan Chasinghawk goes to that place. So it's fun to see how people progress. What does it mean to you? You already mentioned about the juvenile detention center, but just in general, when you see some of the local actors come in and do the part and adapt to the professionals that have already been doing this.
There is nothing like the lived experience to get in the room. I think when I talk to them often, the first little bit is kind of terrifying. You walk into this read through and you've had amazing experiences. Our teachers here are wonderful. But you get in a room and suddenly this, maybe I don't have everything I thought I. But those are also the connections.
Mm-hmm.
So our students work hard and our students have mentorship and our students take that away. But the most important thing is the networks. When they leave, they are friends and they are reaching out to the people in New York or to Boston or to LA. And they're on their Facebook friends, they're on their email, they have their phone numbers because they've been exchanging things and hanging out with them all summer. And those are the people they call. Those are the memories and the education.
All right, so let's talk about what's coming up. Next week is kind of like a kickoff for this, or how are we approaching this?
We start production. So we've actually been I am working on paperwork and grant writing for 2027 right now.
Wow.
It is a long ahead process. But right now we head in next week to our first production meetings. We will have the show cast by the end of next week. We have 4 of the 8 contracts signed at this point. We have our tech team, right? So we have costume designers, set designers, we have assistants, we have a technical director, a production manager, and most of that is local. Most of those roles and positions are artists and professionals here in town. So we will start with the director's concept midway through next week in our first pre-production. But to get to that point, we have hired a director. We have built how many actors, we have built how many outreach programs, where do we need to start making those connections, and how do we allow enough people to be ready to present. So all of those things have happened till this point, but next week is the exciting part for the creativity, and we get to go, all right, how is this world shaping up? And then the designers go away and we start to build what this world, for Much Ado About Nothing, is going to look like here.
The one Shakespeare play I've been in. Yeah.
It's timely that we're sitting here.
Exactly. And I didn't have many lines. I was one of the constables. But it was fun. And I think what it was great for me was, that was really my first, you hear about Shakespeare and you read Romeo and Juliet in junior high or high school, but that's about it. And then you get into college and all of a sudden, oh yeah, well, what's this Much Ado About Nothing thing? And I kind of it was my oral interp professor that all of a sudden she sees me at the convenience store and she says, may I have a minute? I said, okay. I kind of knew what was coming. And she says, would you consider being, and I said, would this happen to do about nothing? Yeah. So, but learning how the language works. And I think what's so great is that we've got so many different places and so many different groups that do Shakespeare. And the fact that, they will do them in some different ways, like, Bear Bodkins is here in town, and they do kind of a compressed show so that, nobody's out in the heat too much during the summertime. But to understand and realize you're following the story now instead of just going, oh, what was just said? That is such a great plus. And I think that's what's nice is, the different trips, the different locations, and the different places that people do this is really adding to the appreciation of a man from several hundred years ago.
I think it's important we look at why this story today.
Right.
What does this story mean now?
Yeah, exactly.
You can't take away the historical context, but you also have to investigate what it means to put it in this world right now. It doesn't matter where we set it or what period. Why are we telling this today? And I also love, you brought up Bear Bodkins, that has been around and for a long time, and they're doing amazing work. Note that every company, when we do Shakespeare at the Juvenile Detention Center, our end game is Shakespeare being the vehicle to bridge empathy, to bridge peer connections and positive experiences, and walking in somebody else's shoes and building conflict resolution, right? Shakespeare is the vehicle to do that. When we do professional, our stories that get performed at the park, those moments are about clear storytelling and taking us as a shared human group and experience in the evening that's different that night than it is another night, right? Community groups doing that, we're coming together as a community to tell a story. We're looking at how this work and these words from 400 years ago impact us and still matter, and it's about bringing us together and building that community. They all do those things in different ways.
And another thing about Shakespeare that I really enjoy is, you hear about the plays, you go to them, they've maybe been made into a major motion picture, things along that line. But if you start to read up on him and realize everything else that he wrote besides plays, the man just was a nonstop. To realize, like you bring up the point, that how is it today? And he was timeless in that regard.
He does there are pros and cons and reasons and things that he is great, but he captures the essence of human emotion with a craftiness of language. And because he was replicated and we have such an experience, which leads to how it was printed and all of the fun things, but he captures these large emotions. It's why it works great in a detention center or with youth who have experienced, or survivors. Decrute does it with veterans, because it looks at breath, but it looks at these huge emotions that oftentimes we don't have words for. PTSD was happening, war and loss, and all of the things that we experience, love, Romeo and Juliet, first love, and that excitement, right? Those all existed, and he found ways that have managed to continue between the sounds of the words that still exist today.
No doubt. Amazing things. So, all right. So next week, you're going to start into the production portion of it. And then when will we be able to see Much Ado About Nothing, and where?
Well, let me share with you the magic of where we do Shakespeare. Our venues are in universal lighting. And you say, why does that matter? Well, when you turn out the lights, I get to sit back in my comfy little chair and I get to watch what happens in front of us, right? Which is lovely and a great experience. I love going to the theater and the lights going out. But in Shakespeare, when we go to the park, we are all under the same sun, which means that I see, as an actor, I see you, you see me, we're making direct eye contact, and the audience member beside you sees you see me, and I'm talking to you. And suddenly we're all in this together, and sometimes you're plotting the murder of whoever Richard decides he's going to kill in that moment. Sometimes we're making you the butt of the joke. Sometimes I'm using you as my ally to get what I need. But our mission talks about connecting and engaging in shared human experiences. And you can't replicate that one-on-one connection in a world that we hide behind screens, that we hide in so many ways that distance us, and experiencing something that way is vastly different. So we this year are going to be at Prentice Park in Vermillion, South Dakota, June 18th through 21st. But that isn't your only chance. We do a lot of community events. We work in bars. We work at a 5K with Shakespeare outdoors, Bark with the Bard, Bar in the Bard. We have community conversation where we talk about the themes as adults, as why does this show matter now? How are we playing this show now? So we try to talk about the fun, the way that fits with your family and enjoying the piece, But also, I want to dig a little deeper and talk about that. Shakespeare was not being done in a pristine, it was not read. It was not being done in some pristine space where everyone sat quietly. The Globe was an active place. It was part of daily life and laughter and a little rambunctious fun. Actors were not thought of highly, right? So we want to recreate and be a part of the world around us and be a part specifically of this South Dakota community.
All right. What about the future then after this year?
This year, we are working on how this expands and how we serve more of the state, how we listen to the broader community. We have asked Vermilion, we talked to Vermilion, and we are working very hard to stay because we are from that community. That's where we came into existence. But we have continued. We were in Brookings last year. We were out on the center of their grounds. It was an incredible balcony for Juliet. But we've worked with North Dakota, and we are getting really good at how do we take this performance on the road? And that's just it. How can we navigate where we want to be and how to share this story on a broader sense? How are we letting people know where all these events are so they can come be a part of it? So we're looking. The Juvenile Detention Center program has expanded to, there isn't even a multiplication. We went from 1 performance a day to 6 weeks.
Wow.
How do we continue giving this information to the most people possible that we can expand to inside of the state so we serve?
And look up on Facebook and on the internet as well?
Yes, and our show actually plays online. You can watch the video recording.
Awesome.
We believe that it comes to you. So if you can't get to us, it's so much better in the park in person.
Right.
That's how it was meant to be experienced. But we do want to make sure everybody has a chance. We really want to expand to the Sioux Falls so that we can reach the most, to reach this large group of people. We miss getting that. And so we're doing our hope is to do some workshop pieces or some of these fun events here to get to know you. We're already serving this with the Juvenile Detention Center, which actually serves almost half the state.
Wow.
But we want to come and have a little more fun
All
with
right.
all of you.
Regrettably, we're kind of out of time. And I do have a question for each first-time guest that sometimes leads to a second. I don't know, Jesse filled you in on this and you're all ready for it, or whether this will come right off the cuff here. All right, so when you are not part of the arts and entertainment scene, what do you like to be entertained by?
I enjoy 2 different pieces particularly. I enjoy questions. I enjoy things that make me ask or look at something differently, that I walk away with a new thought that maybe interrogates exactly what I thought something was going to be. I'm less interested in the piece that just is pretty and showy. They're nice, but I like something that makes me re-look at something. And then the other piece is immersive. I want to be a part of the action. I want to feel the energy from others.
All right, you get question 2 now.
Oh, I feel special.
Do you have any hobbies?
In my spare time, I am.
That's why it's asked usually.
My plants. I really love my plants.
Oh, my.
And I'm really just getting good at it. I'm one of those people who waters them too much. So it's like, I love you, I squeeze you, I give you more water. Oh, that was too much. Whoops. And yoga.
So with the plants, if you need any advice, talk to my wife.
Oh, I will be calling. So that and yoga are sort of the 2 outlets I have.
All right.
I will say we are excited to have this conversation here. And I was reminded the other day that I get to talk with one part of my body, but I have 2 ears.
Exactly.
And so I am asking for the opportunity, if this feels like a way someone wants to get involved, this story is only here because other people join us to tell it.
Yeah. All right. Fantastic. Rebecca Bailey, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be on the Dave Holly Hour.
Thank you, Dave.
And we'll be back with more of the Dave Holly Hour in just a moment.
Walking through the entryway of Phil's Pub, you can't help but notice the show pics and posters from the heyday of live bands in Sioux Falls. Phil's is back. They're on their way to reestablishing their iconic live music venue status. Come on into Phil's for a great local brew. You might just find yourself seeing some of the performers in those pictures, and a very good chance you'll see new acts that will end up being in pictures too. Phil's Pub, your local dive, with music for the people. Follow them on Facebook and other socials. Keep up to date with who's playing at the pub each week here on the Dave Holly Hour.
Ladies, when it's time to give your nails some love, get that extra special treatment from Quality Nails in Sioux Falls. Manicures and pedicures that look great and make you feel fantastic. Zaya and Tony don't simply provide the service, they provide professional care for your hands and feet, whether you just want the basics or you're looking for an extra special look with added flair. Oh, and guys, it's okay to treat yourself too. Quality Nails on Minnesota Avenue. Call for an appointment, 605-334-1463. Walk-ins welcome.
Follow the Dave Holly Hour on Facebook and Instagram.
Welcome back, everybody, and I hope you are ready for a fun ride, even though I don't know what the book's about yet, but we're going to talk about that in a moment. But anytime that Emersyn Park is on this show, it's a fun time. Welcome back, young lady.
Hey, thanks for the young.
Oh, you're very welcome. Well, I do believe in comparison to me, you are.
I don't think so.
Really?
No? I just told you, we've been married 30 years.
Yes, but what age did you get married?
Well, not 30, so just under 30-ish.
Okay. All right. So I've still got probably 5 years on you, plus. Yeah.
I don't know why I have
63
to
right
deny
now.
my age, but
Isn't that a weird thing?
It is. It is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I wonder who started that all. You know, women especially, and they don't ask them, and things along that line.
I don't know. I can't get over it either.
I think
'cause
there's
I'm
far more worse things to ask a woman than her age.
True. Should we name some of those?
That's going to come up for your next book. All right. Speaking of, your next book is
Yay.
here.
Yes.
Well, here.
I'm
I mean,
releasing
we
it
can
on
talk about it.
Monday.
Yeah,
Yes.
Monday is the
Monday.
the
Yeah.
kickoff date, the release.
Yes.
Yes. And what do you look forward to most about release dates?
Hearing what people think, because
Mhm.
it's been sitting with me. Well, now it'll be about a year and a half.
Yeah.
And so it's fun to go, here you go. What do you think? Did I hit it? Did I nail it? What didn't I nail? I love to hear.
Mhm.
And then I love, like, some people will invite me to their book clubs and they're mad at me or a character or, and I'm like, bring it on. I love it.
Oh, wow.
So that's kind of fun.
I never realized that.
Yeah.
Some get upset.
Like if a character dies off and you love that character, don't you you get mad.
Oh, yeah.
You
True.
know, but sometimes it's for the story. And,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Have
So-
to advance the story.
Yes. So I think that's kind of funny when that
And
happens.
sometimes death is the advancement.
You're right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I gotta move on with the story now. so-
Exactly. And I think a lot of people think that way anyway. You know, when
Yeah.
it comes to death, it's like it's an advancement to the
Right.
ever after or whatever you look for out of whatever you cherish and so forth.
Yes.
So there's lots of comparisons you usually put in your books.
Mhm.
Are we going to recognize? Well, first of all, give us the title.
Okay. It is called The Last Arrangement.
Mm-hmm.
It is going to be about a gal that. Okay. Well, I got my Nashville shirt on.
Yes, I do see that.
I do love South Dakota, but
And Broadway never looks as well as it does on you.
I don't thank you. I love Nashville. I think it's so fun. I love to
We're
go
headed
in.
there at the end of April.
You
See
are
my
not.
sister. Yeah,
Do you want me to come?
sure.
Okay.
All right.
Just tag along. I just
Yeah.
like to dance. And
Oh,
chair dance. you
yeah.
know?
They'd. Oh.
I'm not the real dancer.
Well, I'm with you on that, especially now with the balance issues.
Chair dancing is pretty much it.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's okay though.
Yeah.
Some people don't want to see the whole full-on dancing of myself. But okay, so this gal in this book, she starts out in Nashville, and it's just because I love it so much. And she wants to make a hit with the music scene, but she has no talent. Hello, that sounds like me. And so she decides to support the music industry, and so she does the behind the scenes stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So while she's there, she makes friends, does whatever, but she meets the man of her dreams, supposedly. And doesn't go according to, how we write life out. And she needs to suddenly escape from him. And she comes to South Dakota. So,
oh my goodness gracious.
So it's fun. I try to add humor because it's a deep topic. It's about domestic abuse a little bit. And so I add humor in it and make it a little fun. And, I tried to put a little romance even in it this time. I have a lot of people that ask me why I don't. So,
Emersyn, why aren't you romantic?
I'm just not.
Which, of course, is a strange thing in the literary world because often they will talk about the romance period.
Right.
And it's like, okay. Yeah.
Nope.
That's not what I meant.
Nope, that might have lasted a week.
I think I missed that question in 8th grade.
Yeah, maybe it was in 8th grade.
Along with a black widow spider.
That one was more interesting. I was like, I'll take off of the spider.
So she comes to South Dakota. Yes. All right. So far we recognize Nashville.
Yes.
We recognize South Dakota.
Yep.
Naming town names?
I made up a town. It's called Minor City, South Dakota. Oh. I would say it's kind of
West River?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's kind of a blend of Spearfish, Rapid City, Deadwood, and I try to just throw
that area.
Yeah, it helps readers not go. If you read a story and you're like, that's not where that bookstore is located. So if you make up a city, it's much easier to go, okay, I can believe that. So yeah. And I had characters in Minor City in another book. And so I feel like it's already, that town is somewhere up there in the cobwebs of my brain. So.
And some of those characters coming back in this one?
I do have one.
Okay.
His name is Frank. He came back as, he was from Secrets Maple Keeps, and he was the best friend that helped her. He was a lawyer, got her out of jail. Well, Frank, just like everyone, has just so much money and he doesn't know what to do with himself. So he decides
just
to
like
reinvent
every 1%.
Yeah, that 1%. But it's a book. I can make it up. So Frank decides he doesn't want to be a lawyer anymore. He decides he wants to dabble in the music industry. So he gets his own label. And that's how he meets Claire. Okay. And while they become really good friends, and he's kind of a big brother, dad figure to her. And then, so he's kind of like the comic relief of the book. So everyone likes Frank.
Funny Frank.
Funny Frank.
There we go.
Yeah.
We like him already then.
I know. He's awesome.
So what type of, you said there's some domestic abuse and you addressed that.
Yep.
And you offset it then with the humor and so forth. But give us more of an idea as to what type of conflict there is and then resolution in this.
So Claire, suffering, domestic abuse people that suffer through that, it just escalates. It starts off small. We make excuses. It isn't going to happen again. And then it's never exactly the same. It's not going to be, he's going to slap me for exactly the same reason. So what happens is she ends up being in this relationship and she can't get out. She doesn't know how to do it. So Frank swoops in and helps her and says, oh, you know what? I have this great town I used to live in, Minor City. So he helps and brings her there. And while she's there, she's trying to reinvent herself. And, like music was her passion her whole life. Well, that's not a huge music scene in, the Black Hills. So she's trying to discover something else about herself. And she finds a new job that she loves, working with kids. And so while she's there, though, she feels that Hunter, the ex, is always lurking, like he found her. So there's constant that, and I think that's what some of the early reviewers are like, oh, I didn't like that. Oh, because it is. It's like he just follows her. So
Hunter, apparently an appropriate name, like he's hunting her down.
Good job. See, I picked that just on. Yeah.
Wow.
I even put that in the book, Hunter Down, because that's good.
You have to have that. That makes sense.
It does. Yes. So.
Wow. So what fills in between? What sort of subplots and so forth are there?
So Frank sets her up with a therapist in Minor City. And that is a little like, so she's healing the broken bones, ribs, bruises, whatever, are healing. You know that. But she needs to heal inside too.
Right.
And so I think this therapist helps her a little bit, and it's fun. She's a pretty quirky little lady. And then she also develops a slight crush on the teacher she's assisting in the school. So then there's that little subplot going on. So
And then does that kind of need Frank's approval then?
Oh, Frank always has to have a say on everything in anyone's life that he loves. So, yes, of course.
Okay, yeah, because, sometimes when somebody's looking out for somebody and they, see them with somebody else, and it's kind of like, yeah.
Yeah. And he's got a good, he's sharp. So it is good that he.
Not only funny, but sharp.
Yes, dude, he is just.
Yeah, he's the.
wealthy. I mean, hello.
He's
got
the man, isn't he?
Yes.
Are your boys counting the snorts and giggles in this one too?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost was going to use that as the intro. So get ready to count the snorts and giggles.
I know.
She's back.
I know. My husband says, "Good luck on the podcast. Hope you snort 10 times." And thank you. I'm trying.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Well, what inspires you now? Because this is book number what? Six? Yeah.
I think when you're writing, or like when I talk to people, like they give you ideas, So I guess sometimes I'll be like, oh, I have to finish this one so I can write this next one. And I watch a lot of true crime shows or I love documentaries and stuff. And so I think sometimes I go, oh, I love how they show you like how you get to the end. Like, okay, he's caught. I hate the only ones I don't like are like unsolved mysteries. Like, okay, it's unsolved. So you get to the end of the episode and you're like, dude, come on. So I think
where is Bigfoot anyway?
Right. What? I don't want to know that he's just out there. I want to know exactly. So I think that's where I get inspired watching other things, hearing stories, or, I don't know. Sometimes if I just let the quiet of my brain go, it's kind of crazy. So.
And what portion of what you write typically ends up being factual versus fiction?
No, it's usually based on like an idea. Like this book, the initial idea was, I don't know if you remember, it's from the 90s, I believe, a Julia Roberts movie, Sleeping with the Enemy.
Oh, yeah.
And I loved how she was a great character and she overcame so much. But like just the little, like how she molded while she was with him. And then she molded, when she was a free spirit, it's like, so I do love that character development. And so sometimes I'm like, I want to do that, but I won't obviously write exactly that movie, but I like that overall theme.
Okay.
So.
And what portion do we find of Emersyn Park in different characters? Is there any particular one out of the 6 books now that you go, I don't really want people to know this, but that's a lot about me.
I would say even some of the early reviews have just my quirky personality is a little bit like, I feel like Frank's a blend of my husband, me, and my best friend, like the sassiness, But so I wouldn't say the characters have never suffered through what my characters go through, but that's kind of the fun.
Yeah. So what was the first book that you picked up? I know, obviously we read things when we're in grade school, etc. But where did it come to you that, this writing thing, I think this would be really fun to do?
Okay, this is going to make, for people that are our age, V.C. Andrews' Flowers in the Attic was messed.
Classic.
Yeah, but messed up.
Oh.
Like so messed up. And
Yeah.
I think I read it several times as a kid. And I remember getting a review and it said that I was like, how messed up that was. And I was like, oh, yeah, but I like that. I like that it's not, I don't want it just to be an everyday boring story. I want it to have folds and layers and, so that was probably as a kid. As an adult, I really liked Clean Hoover's Verity, which is another messed up book. But then there's other ones that I like. There was this author's coming to Sioux Falls. I'm going to probably screw up her name. Lorraine Landvik. She wrote Angry Housewives Eating Bonbons. And it was about a book club and how they developed over the years, went through their trials.
Right.
It was not messed up. It was more humorous and more just life. But I get done with some of those books and I go, oh, yeah, I want to try that. Yeah, I want to do that. So.
All right. So where are we going after book 6?
I'm going to dabble. I'm going to try. I'm currently working on, there, allude up to that, a rom-com, a little novella.
Okay.
It's going to be a struggle because it's love. I'm going to try to be romantic. And 2, it's got to be shorter. So I'm struggling because I'm, trying to lay out the characters and figure them out. And I'm like, you don't need all that information, Emersyn.
Right.
Slow it down. But so that's what I'm trying right now. I'd like to have that out for it's a little Christmas themed. So
Ooh,
yeah, we'll see.
We like that.
Yeah.
So novella versus novel, it's like so many pages or words? What's the account that they stop calling it novel and say, this is just novella?
I honestly think about 200 is the mark. A lot of that I've read can be from 80 to 150. I'm afraid that I won't be able to stop. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm trying to
Will it be one of those where... But you're your own editor, aren't you?
No, I do.
You do have an editor.
Yes,
okay,
I do, and she will be like, she's the one that honestly makes my books longer. She'll say, "Hey, you need a love scene. Oh, hey,
Right.
you need to explain that," and I'll be like,
a little more depth of character.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting.
All right. Well, we look forward to that as well.
Thank you.
And so, in terms of the reviews,
Yeah.
Because you've already mentioned a couple that they said this,
Mm-hmm.
but yet you're not like, ugh. So how do you take a review, both a negative review and a good review?
Well, I can tell you, we've gotten both.
Yeah.
I remember my first 1 star, and I probably took me 3 days to get over it, and it just broke my heart.
Oh, yeah.
And it was my first book, and I was like, it's like your personality. You want everyone to like you,
Mm-hmm.
but do you like everyone? No.
No.
Do you like every Jack Daniels they make? Okay, wait, that's not a good example. Do you like every French fry you eat? No.
No.
I mean, so to me, I gotta remember that's okay that she didn't like it, or
Yeah.
it just means that wasn't my audience.
Right.
So I will say that over time, 6 books in, it doesn't bother me quite as bad. If I feel like I would hate for somebody to come back and say that the quality of writing was bad. That would probably really hurt. If you didn't like my story, I'm okay with that.
Right.
So, good reviews. It depends. Like if you look at a reviewer and they give everybody all 5, 4 stars, then you're kind of like, you're like my personality, and you're like, oh, I love everyone and I'm happy. I do sometimes. I have a couple girlfriends they're in the beta group, and they critique more.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be like, yeah, I don't believe that. Like in this book, there's an action scene, let's just say, and they were like, not believable. And I was like, really? And they're like, nope. And I'm like, well, what do you see happening? And they're like, I think that this should happen. And so I tried to rewrite it. And then I said, and they're like, still. I mean, so honestly, those are the constructive ones. Like if you can help me get my writing better, that's what I want to hear, So in this book, I had to rewrite that scene. I can't even tell you how many times. But now it's like solid, and people are like, okay, yep. I believe it's believable now, and that's what I kind of want.
Right.
I want you to not to
It's
go.
got to be that, yeah.
What? An angel fell from the sky, and no. So mine aren't fantasy. So when they're that kind of, if they were that kind of genre, that's fine. But mine are. You're supposed to feel like this might have happened to somebody you know. So,
do you get together with other local authors?
yes,
You do.
love it.
A little book club style, or just more storytelling?
Both
What?
a little bit. I have an author group that I get together with the boys. I call them Emerson's Boys, and there are 3 other local authors, and we meet once a month and discuss just the business side. And then I go to attend lots of book clubs. Love that. And I have my own book club, so it's kind of I like to do both. I haven't really found anyone local here that does the same genre, or we've connected, but I do have lots of little author friends.
Well, that's cool. Yeah. So your book club, then how often does it meet, and when does it meet, where? Things along that line.
Yeah, we meet once a month at Makers Exchange and Tea right now. We have a Facebook group called the Best Book Club. I mean, we're so...
It hadn't been taken yet?
I know, right? I know, it makes me laugh. I'm like, okay, well, we are the Best Book Club. And so then we just read whatever. Sometimes they'll read my books. So I appreciate, because again, I get to know these people, and then I value their feedback. So it's fun.
Yeah. When you were talking about, whether somebody likes the book or not, versus, not liking something versus hating. And I always think that, I can't remember what the celebrity was, who the celebrity was, but said, if somebody doesn't like me, maybe they haven't met me. But if they hate me without ever even knowing me at all, he says, that bothers me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
And of course, in anything that you put yourself out in, whether it's a podcast or it's a book, or you're an actor or a musician, there's going to be people that just naturally, hey, don't like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is kind of a weird feeling. You're like, what? Wait. I sometimes worry, and this is a perfect example, but now I'm not as nervous as I used to be. But my first book came out, and I just wanted people to read the book and if they liked the book. And then people were like, well, we want to get to know, or that the next step of the business, get to know the author. And I was like, what if somebody meets me and then doesn't like me and liked my book before that? I was like, so then I got worried, like, okay, you get to know me and
don't care for her, but my God, her book was awesome.
Exactly. But I guess that's not usually the way it works. I don't know. But yeah, it's a funny, I have the opposite fear. I'm like, oh, they're going to get to know me and like my work less. Oh, because I've done that before where you'll, like, oh, I love this. And then you go, whoa.
Well, see, where I find it lately is there are people that I didn't care for in, acting or musicians and so forth. And then somebody will do, because one of my favorite, it's actually my church.
Okay.
7 a.m. on NBC on Sunday mornings, Willie Geist. And he does that Sunday sit down.
Okay.
So it's extended, and then he's got a podcast that you can listen to the whole interview and so forth. And it'll be, okay, I'll give you a great example. Ryan Seacrest. It's like, oh man, and then I saw one of these features on him. It's like, wow, what a guy. He busted his butt to get where he is. And he's, he does great things.
Yep.
He builds radio studios in different parts of the country, not actual transmitters, but so kids can learn about the industry.
That's cool.
And it's like, wow, this is awesome,
And he doesn't brag about it, so you don't know until you watch one of those.
Yep. And so it's just like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's
a good thing.
Yeah, that's a neat thing. And have you ever done even a singer?
Oh, yeah.
Then you'll like, oh, I like it, and then you see him in concert or, like a little bit personality, and you're like, oh, I like it better.
A good friend of mine always says that, live music is good for the soul. And, for 5 years I was host of the Midtown Coffee Radio Hour. And they did a lot of covers. And what was so great about it is there were songs that I maybe didn't care for or just thought, oh, it's a song. And they would do live. And it's like, okay, now I understand that song. That's awesome.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you didn't get quite the lyric, and then somebody else sings it, and you hear it differently, and you're like, oh.
Yeah. Exactly.
I know, that's kind of cool.
So before we go, I mean, we got a couple of things to go through yet, but was there a part you wished for me to read? Typically, you've done that. You had a little bookmark. Not this time.
I didn't this
Too
time.
Too worried about bringing the sourdough bread and the Jack Daniels.
I did. There is a good part in here, though. Here, let me find this part. You can try the Frank thing.
Oh, yeah. My father's first name was Frank.
Was it?
Yeah.
Frank are good people.
Yeah, they are.
Let's see. So let me just set up this.
Okay.
So she's in Nashville. She's been there. She's working. She's trying to build. Claire is trying to build a business by assisting musicians with getting an agent, like getting a label and just, So she's there and she's, goes to school during the day. Then she's doing this. So she ends up belly up at a bar and meets a man.
I've never done that.
You've never done. Well,
I haven't done it once.
She's sipping a Shirley Temple. You can try it. So
that was the first drink I ever had.
Let's see. Start right there. That's Frank.
Okay.
He's giving her a bit of advice. He's a complete stranger.
All right. Next time you're pounding the dark, lonely streets of Music City, might I suggest kitten heels or a pair of boots rather than those suicide heels that scream, I charge by the hour. Your cankles will thank me. The stranger resting on the bar stool next to me nodded toward my swollen feet. Did he call my ankles chubby and suggest that I dress like a prostitute? What the hell? Sitting belly up at one of my favorite bars, the Stage on Broadway, I'd been minding my own business, sipping my favorite childhood cocktail, when the blunt, rude stranger chimed in. After a long day, a long year actually, I did not possess enough patience to deal with this encounter. Against my better judgment, I fired back. Excuse me? I glared at the intrusive man. Cankles? Your ankles are as thick as your calves, so they're called cankles, he said, pointing to my swollen ankles. When you've been on your feet for hours, your ankles swell. You might also want to watch your salt intake. Completely unattractive. You should elevate them. He stood up, moved one stool away, and patted the seat of his vacated stool. You'll thank me tomorrow.
See, he's a sass.
Woo! Yeah.
Woo. Did you know what cankles were before that?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yeah. So I thought, my God, she's going right to my shoe fetish on this character.
I love it.
All right, so we got that part out of the way. So talk about the release is coming up.
Yes. Monday, March 16th is the release date. That'll be available Barnes & Noble, Amazon. It'll be, I'm hoping, so I've had some issues with ordering it. Okay, I'm going to drop some big names here. But
Okay.
Amazon, for some reason, I couldn't order it in my marketplace, which is just a weird, they have a glitch. It's been going on for over 2 months. But so I had to order through Barnes & Noble or Ingram Sparks. Great. Glad. This is a beautiful, I ordered one, and this was Barnes & Noble just to make sure it looks great.
Mm-hmm.
And it is. It's beautiful. But then once I get it, then I order the rest because I've done where I've ordered a bunch and then there's one.
And go, oh.
Yeah. So I'm like, no, I need one at a time. So my issue is that they're just a little bit slower than Amazon and a little bit more expensive. So I'm hoping they come this week and then I can supply them locally as well. And then they would be available here in Sioux Falls at Barnes & Noble. And I do Lori Bell's and the local in Del Rapids.
All right.
So
Fantastic.
hopefully everything goes according to plan, which nothing has so far. So, but yeah.
All right. So, I'm giving the people that have been here multiple times different questions each time that they come on as a guest. And of course, the easy one would be to ask you, what is the title of your autobiography?
No. All the other times I've been here, you've asked me, what's your word of the year? I prepared a word of the year, Dave.
Oh, don't worry. I have a new one to go along with this. Since you haven't been here in a while, it's like we got to catch up on some of these.
I know. Well, okay, first tell me yours, and then maybe that'll help me.
My autobiography?
Yeah.
My name's not Emmett.
Oh, what's Emmett?
Okay. The irony here. So, I was 4 years old.
Okay.
And my father was driving, and my sister was on the passenger side, but this was an old vehicle, and I'm standing up in between them. My father takes a sharp turn, and I fall into him. And he goes, "Damn it, sit down." Oh. And I start crying, and I say, "My name's not Emmett. My name is David."
That's awesome.
Yes, so that's the title of that. Yeah. All right, now, I'll give you this.
Mine would be something about, I don't know. You have to give me time to think about it, but mine.
Okay, next time around.
Well, let me just help. I would want it to be something about practicing, trying new things.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like at my age, I wish I would. Somebody asked me, what would you have done differently? And I would have started this earlier. So I feel like I'm going, listen to your youth. Like, where was your passion? So something along those lines.
All right. So now we'll do one more then for shits and giggles.
Okay. Sorry. Give me one I can answer.
What's your spirit animal?
My spirit animal. Wow.
That sounded like a horse.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know, like a dog, or I was like, I can see this is okay. If you do what first comes to your brain,
right?
I hope this doesn't evolve to something else. But I see a donkey, and I think it's because it's smiling and makes funny noises.
Oh, a caricature donkey. Yeah, no doubt about that.
Yeah, like I'm like, oh, he's always smiling, showing his teeth. And he makes funny noises, and he's happy. So
all right, and carries people on his back.
Okay.
Okay, you'll go with it. Come on,
we'll try that.
I'll give it something to you. All righty.
I love it.
Well, there we go.
Okay.
I thought for sure you were going to ask me mine.
I was going to make you wine.
No, you were going to ask me mine.
Well, I want to know yours.
Okay.
I thought maybe
elephant.
Why?
Because for a very, very long time, until the past few years, I had a very good memory.
Oh.
I was kind of the family historian in a way, because people would say, well, remember when we did this, and when was that? And they always look at me, and then I think of, okay, what song was popular at the time? Where had we? And then I can say, okay, it was the summer of 72.
Wow.
Or something along that line. But that's receded, and people always, would say, oh, what a gift. No, you remember all the bad stuff, too. Seriously.
So you don't think you're an elephant anymore?
No, I'm still an elephant.
Okay. It's not as...
Right, because I long for my memory
to
be the way that it was. Okay. And then the ironic part of the elephant is it is afraid of a mouse. Yes.
You're afraid of mice?
Not literally.
Okay.
Figuratively.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I get it. I love it.
All right. Well, as always, Emersyn Park, what a pleasure to have you in the studio and to chat about all you do and count the snorts and giggles and...
Yeah, put it in the comments.
All right.
My kids will do it.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you taking the time. And we'll be back to wrap up the Dave Holly Hour in a moment.
145 over 92.
180 over 111. I had a heart attack and a cardiac arrest, and then a stroke.
Your blood pressure numbers could change your life. Lowering your high blood pressure could save you from a heart attack or stroke. If you've stopped your treatment plan, restart it or talk to your doctor about creating one that works better for you. Start taking the right steps at manageyourbp.org.
Now I'm, trying to get better, stronger than ever.
Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Medical Association, and the Ad Council.
Funny, engaging, connected. He's the entertainment reporter for Sioux Falls. Here's Dave Holly.
Thanks again to my amazing guests, Dan Heier, Rebecca Bailey, and Emersyn Park. And Rebecca was the only first-time guest this episode. Previous conversations of Dan and Emersyn are available on the show's website. Again, that's davehollyhour.com. Listen to any of the now 311 shows anytime you wish. And this show is also available on your favorite podcast platform. Thank you all for supporting local arts and for taking the time to download, listen, and share the show. I encourage you to find your art, find the art you enjoy, find the art you're interested in trying, and we shall see you in the arts. As the Sioux Falls Arts Council says, together we art. As Art South Dakota says, home is where the art is. As I say, put some art in your heart. Remember, my name is Dave Holly, and for me, every day is a holiday.
The Dave Holly Hour has been brought to you by Trio Jazz Club, Sioux Falls' premier jazz club. Enter as friends, leave as family. Phil's Pub, your local dive with music for the people. Chaser's Food and Spirits, XL Chiropractic, and Quality Nails. Stay up to date on the show by following on Instagram and Facebook. All episodes available anytime at davehollyhour.com. The Dave Holly Hour is produced in the Dipsy Doodle Studios by Big D Entertainment.
Thanks for listening.